Hey everybody! Today Alice and I are going to be going and buying a couple of Silver Age keys, but before we get to that I wanted to show you this Silver Age key that I actually just sold and just kind of want to talk about it for a second, show it off before I'm not going to have it anymore. So this of course is Tales to Astonish number 35. This is the first appearance of Ant-Man as a superhero. Ant-Man actually first appeared about 7 months earlier in Tales to Astonish number 29, but because Marvel was having such success with superheroes, they decided to turn him into a superhero here in issue number 35. So again, just want to show this off. It's really in great condition. There's not too much going on the edges here. I mean, there's a couple creases. There's of course a date stamp here for June 5th, 1962. But overall, the front cover is in really great shape. And here's the first page, and of course they kind of recap here. They say, in a previous issue of this magazine, we brought you the nightmarish story of Henry Pym, a scientist who invented two incredible serums, one to reduce objects, and the other to enlarge them back to their natural size. And here they show him shrinking. So in this box here, we kind of see how this whole storyline is fueled by Cold War tensions. We of course know 1962, this was the year of the Cuban Missile Crisis, so this is really the heart of the Cold War. It says, then weeks later in a nation on the other side of the world, and this guy says, our informants say the American scientists have almost completed the anti-radiation formula. To which a guy that kind of looks like Khrushchev responds, so then we must notify our agents in the Western Hemisphere at once. So here we see the spies sneak up on Dr. Pym. These two boxes pretty much explain why he becomes a superhero. Henry Pym says, but wait, there is a way to stop them. It's a fantastic plan, but it has to work. If it fails, the commies will have the anti-radiation gas, which will put them miles ahead of us in the Cold War. So here we go, Ant-Man shrinks down. Once again, like he did in an earlier story. And there he is with all of the ants. He gets into a fight with one of them. And then of course, there's Ant-Man riding ants as he's wont to do. And finally in the third act, Ant-Man and his swarm of ants attack the commies. Then in the last panel of the story, Henry Pym says, it is over, the danger has ended for now, and my secret is still safe, but I wonder, will I ever be forced to become the Ant-Man again? And then Stan's final caption at the bottom says, yes, Henry Pym, you will, sooner than you think, but we will save that story for the next issue of Tales to Astonish. So again, this is a really key issue in the history of Marvel. Again, this was really when superheroes started taking off for the company, and Ant-Man was actually one of the first superheroes at Marvel. I decided to sell this though because I'm not really that much of an Ant-Man fan. Also just from the speculation front, I mean, the first two movies actually have already come out. So I think the market is, pretty familiar with Ant-Man at this point. I don't know how many more movies Paul Rudd's going to be making. So kind of just seems like now might be a good time. And again, I don't really have any sort of attachment to the character. What I actually find coolest about this comic book is the backup feature here, The Doorway to Nowhere. It's by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And an interesting story just about a convict who wanders into this haunted house. And there's this closet that is the doorway to nowhere. And whatever he puts in the closet, whether it be this coat or this table, they just disappear. So he decides, because he's a convict, that he's going to hide out in the closet and escape from the police. And here in this last panel, I really love this. This is like a classic Doctor Strange, Steve Ditko, alternate dimension type image here, with this guy folding up like into pieces of paper and like this weird little shape here. It's just very kind of proto Doctor Strange. And then there's one last backup feature here. Well, there's also like a story there, prose. But then there's also this last backup feature, The Thing from Outer Space. So these are just kind of like classic Tales to Astonish type sci-fi horror stories. And this is really good art here as well. But this is, it's a great Silver Age key. I kind of was torn on letting it go. I picked it up last winter actually in Millerton, New York, and my Impala died on the way to go pick this thing up. So I've been holding on to it. I'm kind of torn about it. I actually recently made a list of all of the different characters who I want to collect, and unfortunately Ant-Man was not on that list. Again, this is a Silver Age key, but you know, it's not one that I want to hold on to. So I sold it, and now I'm going to be shipping it off. So Alice and I are here at the post office. You can see it back there. We just mailed the package, right?
Yes.
And now we are going to replace that Tales to Astonish 35 with two, count them, 1, 2 mega keys of the Silver Age. As I mentioned, I made a list of all the characters that I want to collect. And who are some of our favorite superheroes, Alice? Who's a superhero you like?
Superman.
Yeah, Superman's on the list. Who else do you like? Ant-Man?
Captain America.
Captain America, yeah. He's a classic Golden Age Marvel character. But we are going to pick up the first appearances of three different characters technically, but 2 books that are first appearances, and we're going to be driving to Manchester, Connecticut to a shop called A Hero's Legacy. And Alice is very excited about this, aren't you?
Huh?
So before we go to A Hero's Legacy, we're going to stop here at Ollie's Bargain Outlet in Manchester, Connecticut. This is a place that also has some comic books, right, Alice?
Yes.
Do you think we'll find anything good?
Yes.
Let's go find out. See, they have all of these graphic novels here. So many. Do you know who any of these people are? Do you know who that is?
No.
Green Lantern. Who she is? Harley Quinn. So yeah, these 2 hardcovers here, they're both $37, and they're in plastic wrap. I'm seeing them online for like 80, 100 bucks. The original cover prices on them are 125, so that's a pretty good deal. The only thing is they must have rewrapped them because they have like these ink marks on them on the top. And what they also have here is these packages of random comics. These seem to be a lot of Power Rangers. What happens is people that have a lot of overstock comics, they sell to these third-party companies who buy in bulk themselves, and then they repackage. You see, like, it's a lot of the same comics in here, so they'll just sell them in these packs. Like, you can see this grouping here. There's so many Power Rangers comics. So somebody must have had a ton of overstock Power Rangers that they sold to this company, who sold them to Ollie's. So yeah, we ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these omnibuses.
Yes.
Or omnibi. I don't know what the plural omnibus is, but these things are going for about $100 each. So I should be able to make at least like 40 bucks each on these, I'm thinking. I mean, let's just say 30. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 3. So I mean, I should be able to make like $180 off of these, I would think. You know, even though I make 100 bucks, that's some profit for just going to Ollie's. And the fact that it's these big omnibuses, that's what's people will be paying more for. They had a bunch of other graphic novels. They had a lot of smaller ones, but those wouldn't really be worth as much. It's really these big ones, especially Spider-Man too, obviously. A big Spider-Man omnibus. Again, the only problem is that these things were apparently opened and rewrapped, so they got these black dots here. So, I don't know if people are gonna pay a little less for that, but I mean, still, like, 37 bucks each, like, there's gotta be some profit there. This is A Hero's Legacy. Pretty cool. They have, here's all the new comics. And then they have a kids section back here too. See, Alice, look, they have Frozen. They have a Superman book. Fraggle Rock. More Power Rangers. Sonic the Hedgehog. Like that? That's a Frozen book.
Huh.
It's a big Frozen comic book. It might have others in here. See over here, this is all This is all kids comics in here. Daddy actually just went through here the other day because they have like older books in here too. They have old Archie books and like Gold and Silver Age kids books here too. Come here, let's look to see if they have any other Frozen books. Yeah, Duckman. Let's see, Frozen. Oh, Finding Nemo. You got a Finding Nemo comic book. I looked for, when I was here, I looked for Peppa Pig, but they didn't have any.
No.
Finding Nemo. What's something else that you like? DuckTales, Jetsons. I wonder if they have Winnie the Pooh. If they have Winnie the Pooh. Let's see, Walt Disney. They do keep like old Golden Age books in here too, which is interesting. Or Silver Age books. Uncle Scrooge, Toy Story, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Popeye. You just want that Frozen book?
Yes.
The $10 Frozen book? Look, they even have Barbie. They have Barbie books.
Barbie books.
Betty and Veronica. Billy Batson's Shazam. It's interesting because there's stuff in here that you might not expect. There was something I found in here last time that I... Okay, you want this? Okay.
Yes.
Here, take it. Here's all the new books that they got coming out. And they got action figures too. Some Batmobiles and whatnot.
What's in here, Daddy?
Oh, that's their backs. Don't go back there. And they have a healthy selection of back issues and graphic novels and shirts and toys. Oh look, Deathlock. That's pretty cool. So nice big selection here. Alright, so what was this all about today? What are the two keys that we got? Well, folks, first off, here it is. Fantastic Four, number 48, CGC 6.0, cream to off-white pages. The first appearance of Galactus and the Silver Surfer. So obviously this is a book that's going to be more important as Silver Surfer and Galactus make their way into the MCU. And there it is. As I mentioned on my list that I made, it's actually not Silver Surfer that I'm collecting, but Fantastic Four. And this is obviously one of the big Fantastic Four issues, probably second only to Fantastic Four number 1. So here it is, Fantastic Four number 48, CGC 6.0. Next up, what is the other big Silver Age key that I got here today out of Heroes Legacy? Well, folks, it's another Silver Age first appearance. Strange Tales, number 110. This is the first appearance of Doctor Strange. Also, the Ancient One, Nightmare, and Wong. And it's also the first Paste Pot Pete and Wizard team-up, as you see him right on the cover there. Unfortunately, Doctor Strange does not appear on this cover, as Silver Surfer does not appear on the other cover. So these are two keys without the first appearance characters actually on the cover, but this is also a big one. CGC 4.0. Light tan to off-white pages. Just another great piece of Marvel Comics history to own. And again, you know, these are respectable grades, I think, 4.0 and 6.0, especially for their ages. So I finally have these two. These are just two giants of the Silver Age of comics I'm glad to own. And yeah, looking forward to just keeping these in my collection for a while. And Alice, want to show everybody the comic book you got?
Uh-huh.
What's your comic?
Elsa.
Frozen. Yeah, Elsa, Anna, and Olaf. Is this a good trip today?
Yeah.
Did we get lots of good stuff?
Yeah.
Well, Thanks for joining us, folks. We appreciate it. We definitely added to our collection today, and also we sold something too, right?
Yeah.
Sold some stuff and shipped it off. So we had a productive day in comic book collecting.
Yeah.
All right, say bye, Alice.
Bye.